The United States government swiftly allocated $60 million in emergency funds to Maryland to address the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. The bridge collapsed after a cargo freighter struck it, causing 2 deaths and leaving 4 others missing. President Joe Biden's directive to expedite the rebuilding process led to the rapid allocation of funds, typically a lengthier process. Maryland Governor Wes Moore emphasized the immediate priority of recovering the missing workers and restoring shipping operations.
We submitted an initial $60 million request to the Biden-Harris administration for initial mobilization, operations, and debris recovery efforts. And I can report that as of this afternoon, the Biden-Harris administration has approved that request. We are deeply grateful to President Biden, to Secretary Buttigieg, to our federal delegation, and all of our federal partners. I was thankful to receive a call just about an hour ago from Secretary Buttigieg, and I'm grateful for the way that the administration has continued to lean in and support us.
However, the removal of the cargo ship trapped under bridge debris poses a significant challenge. Diving operations were suspended due to safety concerns, hindering search efforts. The estimated cost of rebuilding the bridge could exceed $2 billion, requiring congressional funding. Emergency funds will support debris removal and initial recovery efforts, with additional funding anticipated as damage assessments progress. The incident has disrupted shipping operations at the Port of Baltimore, necessitating prompt action to restore infrastructure and address the tragic aftermath. In Pakistan's political landscape, US President Joe Biden has extended warm wishes to Pakistan and its newly elected government through a letter addressed to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. This marks the first official correspondence by an American head of state to Pakistan's premier in years. Biden emphasized the critical partnership between the two nations in ensuring regional and global security. He pledged unwavering support to Pakistan in addressing key challenges, particularly in areas such as public health, economic development, and education. The letter underscored Washington's commitment to strengthening the alliance with Pakistan, including initiatives under the US-Pakistan Green Alliance framework. Now moving towards Pakistan's economic front, Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb expressed optimism about reaching a staff-level agreement with the IMF by June 30th. Discussions centered on a potential larger and longer bailout package to support structural reforms, including tax system digitalization and documentation of the economy.
देखें, it will be, मैं सिर्फ आपको एक बात कह सकता हूँ कि हमें मैं अमाउंट की भी बात नहीं कर सकता, और उसकी वजह सिर्फ ये है कि अभी वो बात हुई नहीं है. चूँकि वो बात हुई नहीं है, मैं आपके सामने आके एक कोई फिगर दे दूँ वो मुनासिब है. लेकिन ये ज़रूर है कि हमें कम से कम 3 साल का प्रोग्राम चाहिए, ताकि हम ईयर 1 में जो हमने काम शुरू कर दिया है, ये नहीं करने जा रहे हैं, शुरू कर दिया है. दैट इज़ द इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट, राइट. हमने कोई वेट नहीं कर रहे किसी चीज़ का, ना ही वो IMF की कि ये जो कह रहे हैं जी कंडीशंस आएंगी और फला, ये मुल्क के लिए ठीक चीज़ें हैं ना, तो क्यों रुके हम. तो उसको ऑलरेडी हमने उसको एग्जीक्यूशन में हम ले गए हैं. तो लेकिन उसका जो साइज़ ऑफ द प्रोग्राम है वो इट्स टू प्रीमेच्योर टू टॉक अबाउट.
The International Court of Justice has ordered Israel to provide urgent humanitarian assistance in Gaza as famine looms. The court emphasized that Palestinians are facing a dire situation, with famine already taking hold. South Africa accused Israel of genocide in Gaza, urging the court to intervene and order a ceasefire. The ICJ previously ruled in January for Israel to prevent genocide and allow aid into Gaza. Now it's demanding immediate action to address the worsening humanitarian crisis. South Africa welcomed the decision, highlighting the urgent need to protect Palestinians from starvation and disease. Despite calls for a ceasefire and aid delivery, heavy fighting continues in Gaza, with medical facilities and personnel under attack.